Hey guys, Richie here from HobbyBoss. Welcome back to part number 3 of my 48th scale F-14A build, and it's the Iranian Persian cat, the HobbyBoss kit. Last week we did some assembly. This week we can continue the main assembly to try to get this main fuselage put together. So let's go ahead and get started. Alright, so getting back into this. Continuing main assembly, and hopefully by the end of this episode we're going to have the thing pretty much put together and getting ready for some priming and painting next week. So first up, the main gear bays. I've glued these together, no problem at all. Did this off a lot of stuff I've done off camera. So as you can see here, yeah, no problem at all, just following the instructions. I did mark with a pen on the bottom, left and right, so I know which one's which. Yeah, just a lot of parts going into this, not nice detail, a lot of nice detail, should I say, and yeah, no problem at all. So that covers these areas. The actual gear itself, looks like we can add after the fact. So we will build these later on, and just when the aircraft's built, we'll add them at the very end. As always, moving along this part here, we've got, well, let's take a step back actually. So back at step 6, we've got the engines. I've built one already, and there's the detail, so you can kind of see. Don't worry about any seam lines or anything, because you're not going to see it. All I'm going to do is going to paint the front and the back. And that should be it. Well, saying that, actually there'll be a seam line there. Well, I don't think we do much with that, to be honest with you. But yeah, so fully detailed engine. You could definitely go to town, add some wiring and stuff. But again, you're not going to see it because, you know, when it goes in like this, you're going to see the back and you can see the front barely for the intake. And that's it. So don't worry too much. I don't want to engine already, see how it went together. Again, no real issues with that one. Just, yeah. And then the intakes. So 2-piece intakes. And put them together. Obviously, we've got the seam lines down the middle. So what I did was, this one I finished already. And as you can see, hopefully it's pretty much seamless. The usual tip, so I glued it together. Did use the cement, the white top, thicker resin kind of glue from Tamiya, and what that means is, it acts as a filler as well. So when you glue it together, it kind of helps fill in gaps. So use that one. Once it's dry, my sprue goo, which is basically just extra thin mixed with plastic hard, white plastic hard, good quality plastic. It just melts in there and creates like a goo. And you can do various textures and consistencies. This one's a little bit more runnier, and literally just dropped it with the thing with the brush. And let it just roll down with gravity, and it fills the line. So let that overnight to dry, and all I'm going to do then is take my sanding sticks, this is a medium one, and literally just sand the inside, sand it smooth, get rid of all the excess sprue glue. Do it from this side too. And so on. So I can do it for a little bit more. I'm not going to bore you on camera. And then I've got a polishing sponge. And then after that, I'm just going with a sponge. Same thing. And that's just going to remove any scratches and make the surface a little bit smoother there. So I'm going to build these up. I'm going to paint these white. Paint the ends of these. Put instructions. I think it's probably going to be like a gunmetal kind of color. We'll see in a minute. The intakes will be white. And then we can kind of glue the structures together. And start assembling it so we can get this main fuselage put together. So that's kind of where I'm at. So let me continue, get seams out of that one, get this stuff primed and painted, and I'll be right back. Alright, so moving along here, so back at it, doing the main fuselage, and as you can see, we're putting all this stuff together. Now I've done one side, but here's the bit of a design flaw for me. These two intake doors, I put on these 3 tiny bits of plastic, and you got to kind of line them up and get them on, and it's just really delicate. I mean, there's got to be a better way to design this. Like normally you have like a like okay tabs on the inside of here to put them on against or whatever, but it's just a little bit fragile there. So yeah, so I'm not ecstatic with the way that's designed, but I think we'll be okay. Now once the side's on here, it seems a little bit stronger. So when you get this out of the box, this comes separately wrapped. You can see there that there's tons of tabs around here. This is just where they hacked it off themselves in the factory off the sprue. So the back two are the ones you want to keep. they're the ones that locate into the fuselage. The rest of these are just nubs that need to be cut off. So you just need to work your way off and just cut all this away. Like so. And just leave the back too. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give it a sander, I'm going to sand this down, make it nice and smooth, and then simply just attach it to that side and glue it in place. Easy as that. So going to do that and that complete this page here, page step number 6. And as you know before already, we've done all the wheel wells, we've done the intakes, we've got them seamless somewhat, but now we're at the stage where we kind of need to paint some of this stuff to get it back together, so we can get it together, make it a little bit easier. So like I said, now we've got this painted, we can get from inside, paint all this up, paint all the steel at the end of the engines, paint the intakes, and it just makes it a little bit easier when we actually the intake trunking. So it makes it a little bit easier when we get this thing put together. So yeah, sand this down, glue it on, and then get to the spray booth and start priming and painting some of these components up. Alright, just did a little filming here and realised I was off camera shot, so let's go again. So, put the side in, no problem at all, and the key with this stuff, you see put marking left and right, this is worn off on this one, but make sure you write with a Sharpie your part numbers and stuff, or lefts and rights, to get in the right way, because otherwise it's real fiddle trying to figure out. So it's about managing your build, so that's my top tip for the day. So, mark on, this side's no problem at all. So basically, what we got here is a notch on here, so it goes one way. So it just clicks into place, glue it up, and then put the whole piece in. Now the key with this is to make sure you got this flush against your intake. You don't want a seam line. Well, there's no way you can get away with a seam line without one, but get it as flush as possible. Extra thin glue wasn't really holding it very good, so usual trick, a little bit of kicker, a little bit of super glue, then kicker. This isn't the best kicker, there's better ones out there. Don't put this on paint because it turns it white and screws it up, but like the inside or before you paint it, no problem at all with this stuff. Obviously you're not going to see, it's a little gnarly, you don't need to sound it or anything because you're not going to see it. This is the inside of the aircraft, right? So get the side in, no problem at all, and then it's just a case of sandwiching it together. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to start with the back and work my way up, get this glued, and then get these in because these are going to be a little tricky. And then try to glue around it without gluing them in place. They can still slide. Now, if it's going to be a complete pain, I'm not going to fool around with it. I'm just going to glue them in place. But I'd like possible, just as a little novelty, have these slide in and out. But again, it all depends how easy it's going to get this fuselage together. That's a priority here. One thing I did notice, I don't know if it's my end or just the way the kit is, but there's quite gnarly gaps down where the gear bay and the fuselage meets. I've tried to glue these up. Again, this one's really bad too. Again, I'm not sure if it's my building or just the way it's designed, but I mean, once the fuselage together, we can, you push it together, we can get rid of some of the line, but again, a little bit gnarly, the way the fit is back there. Certainly not Tamiya quality, but service detail's really nice. But yeah, so there we go. So let me go ahead and get these two glued together, get it put in, and we'll start sandwiching the whole thing, which I'll probably do off camera because trying to do it with a camera and stuff is going to be a little tricky, and I'll make sure I get this thing done right. So I'll come back and show you kind of where we're at. Okay, so before I button it up, you got to put the wings in. So I like the Tamiya kit where you can have them like painted separate and add them at the end. You've got to put this thing all in together. So yeah, is what it is. So you've got these little pieces here, D3 and D4, and basically just clip on here, but there's no real way, like positioning. It looks like you just put them any way you want with the instructions. It looks like you just have them kind of like following like the line of the fuselage. So, sorry, I'm getting wind here. I see some people on my front door. It's kind of weird. All right, so make sure you get the wings the right way around, obviously. I think I've got them the right way around. I'm just going to, they just sit on like that, and then a cap goes over it. But rather than having them loose, which come undone, I'm going to glue them in a little bit. So I'm just going to run some little glue on the inside like that, my white top cement, so it doesn't like, you know, dry super quickly, like extra thin. And then I'm just going to put my wing on, and then push this over the top. kind of get it lined up, and like so. So because we put the glue on the inside, we're not glued the wing in, so it's still going to rotate, not that I really want it to. I mean, once it's in place, it's going to have wings back fully, the wings back permanently. I'm not going to like keep moving them backwards and forwards, but so there we go. So I'm going to let these dry a little bit, and I think just adding a little glue probably helps, because again, I don't want to put this whole thing together and find things just busts open, and these start, flapping loose. So a lot of glue on the inside, so I'm not gluing the actual wings in place. And yeah, so I just want to show you that a little bit, and then let these dry, and I'm going to put the rest of the top half of the fuselage on. Okay, so I've got it put together. I'm through step 8 of the instructions here. Looking for you can see getting this main thing put together, and it isn't easy. I've got it together, as you can see here. On a close-up camera, you probably see a lot better. So I've left one side kind of tacked in, showing what I've got going on here. So did the back first, which is probably the way to go. Get the back done, glued together, and then tack the front. So each side at a time, basically get this guy put in and glue, and then hold it in place. So this side I've done and show you how I clamped it. Basically, you're going to make sure this lines up the intake first at the front here. Close peg wouldn't really fit in, so a couple of these little part holder crocodile clips, and then back here glued it, a couple of my usual clips, my close pegs, and just really holding this whole thing together for it to dry. This has been drying now, so it should be good to remove. It's been an hour or so, and there we go. You can see, we've got these guys move in and out. The wings obviously move as well, and per the instructions, they've labeled the bags here which inflate. You got 2 options of bags, and what it basically means is if you want the wings forward, you're going to use this guy, and what it basically clip it into place, and then wait, maybe I got the wrong one. Okay, yeah. So that one goes in place like that, and that kind of holds the wings forward. But if you want the wings back, you're going to use the other part. And see, I've made a cross, so I know which one's which. So you're going to use this guy, which is lower profile. It's like deflated, and then you can see the wings go back, like so. So I'm going to obviously have the wings back. So I'm going with these guys, which is, I forgot which part number it is. So it's going to be D14 and 11, not 5 and 2. These are 5 and 2 if you want wings forward. You can always keep these, obviously, and if you want to change the pose, But I wouldn't recommend gluing these in right now, because it's going to be easy to just paint these separately. So just paint them separately, and at the very end, once the whole thing's painted, just, with a little PVA glue or some super glue, just put it, well, you don't even need glue it, just place it like that, right? And then you can change them out if you want to in the future. So yeah, got it together. Was a handful. Definitely got a few seam lines to take care of, and maybe a little bit of filling here and there. But nevertheless, we're there, and looking like a F-14. Now, I didn't do this, but I haven't done it yet. Live on camera. Let's see how well the front end goes in. Oh, look at that. It's almost a perfect fit. Well, that was unexpected. I thought I'd have to feddle that one and fool around with it, but yeah, went in perfectly. So surprise, surprise, some good luck on this one. So yeah, this is a tricky kit. If you're building an F-14 newer to modeling, or I would definitely recommend the Tamiya one that just falls together easily. This definitely needs a little bit more fettling and putting together, but it maybe has a few more little details and stuff on here. You can do like the flaps and slats down, and various other things. But yeah, just getting this front end together, just take your time, part at a time, and just really clamp it, hold it in place till it dries, the glue dries, and then just work your way around. And that's what I did with this one. Now I'm noticing the guy thing, this is now stuck in. So lucky it's open. I probably with a toothpick, I can probably just push it out, something, I don't know, but we'll figure that out. Maybe I was going to glue these in place, because it's going to be a pain in the ass, just these moving in and out all over the place. But yeah, so there we go. So I'm going to end this video here, part number 3. I think we've done a lot here, trying to get this main assembly put together, and the wings and all that lot, and we've done it. So again, a few little gaps here and there just need filling, nothing major, and we can move on with the rest of this and get it ready next week, finally put together, so we get ready for some priming and painting, which is looking forward to on this kit, because with this beautiful markings, it's going to look pretty awesome.
So thank you for watching as always. I'll see you next week with part number 4. Have a great weekend. Bye.